High hopes for what?
For a good fight. I mean, after the main event.
Yeah, I had high hopes for that. Yeah, definitely. That fight sucked so bad, and it was a fight that was, it just had so much heat on it. It was a very important fight, and literally this is, every time after we do the weigh-ins, I have a fighter meeting in the back, and one of the topics that I've been talking about in the fighter meetings is fighter pay. You guys want to talk about fighter pay? Let's talk about fighter pay. Everybody on this card, whether it's your first time in the UFC, or you're George St-Pierre, or Anderson Silva, you all have the same opportunity to make those bonuses. You want more money? Fucking right there, go get it. Go get the money. Go out there and let people know who you are. Have people talking about you tomorrow. You know what I mean? People are going to be talking about Ed Herman again. Smith too. And I told Smith, I said, I didn't know your fucking name yesterday. I know your name today.
Dana, can you at least appreciate, though, that it's a little bit different circumstances? Rory is fighting for a potential title shot. I mean, Ed Herman probably needs the money a little bit more. A bonus is pretty big to him, but it seemed like Rory came in and said, I can now jab this guy who's a dangerous striker. I mean, I guess I was a little bit surprised how hard you took it on both of them, just because even though the fight lacked entertainment, it made sense.
Ellenberger did nothing. Ellenberger did nothing, and he's told you that you don't belong in the top 10. He went out and bullied BJ because he knew he could. He didn't try to bully Ellenberger. You know what I mean?
He talked about
don't come in and say that you fought, my fight was great and it was technical and I did this and that and I belong in the top 10 and all this other, talk all this shit and don't go in there and try to perform. I don't think he performed. I don't think he did anything. Threw a few jabs and some front kicks. That's all he did.
Do you think he moved down
the ladder? I don't think he moves down the ladder, but do you think anybody's screaming to see him in a fucking fight again? Unfortunately, gentlemen, and I understand guys who are, I understand your defense of Rory, but we live in a business, unfortunately, that you're as good as your last fight. You know what I mean? We always talk about windows of opportunity and all this other stuff, and that kid's in a tough enough position as it is. He lives in George St-Pierre's house. He trains in George St-Pierre's hometown. When I say his house, where he trains, his gym and everything else. And everything's George St-Pierre this, George St-Pierre that. And the kid has to walk around and say he doesn't want to fight George St-Pierre. We all fucking know he wants to fight George St-Pierre. But why would he go out beating his chest saying he wants to fight George St-Pierre when that fight isn't even close to happening yet? But tonight was a night, an important night that everybody was excited for. And yes, I understand that sometimes you're fighting somebody dangerous or whatever. Fucking Ellenberger just sat there, fucking 2 feet away from me and said, that wasn't me tonight. I wasn't myself. So if you're Rory and you're that fucking good and you're that talented, then you impose your will on him and you show the rest of the world, yeah, not only do I belong in the top 5, I should be fighting George St-Pierre. He should have people screaming for him to fight George St-Pierre. I mean, that's how it all works, More money, and all this shit. You want more money? Go fucking get it. Go get it. Believe me, guys who deserve more money, we pay them. We pay the guys who make a difference. I've said this a million times, You know how many less pay-per-view buys we're doing now that Volkman's gone? Seriously, how many less pay-per-views are we doing that Volkman's gone? None, trust me.
I talked about guys chafing under the pressure. Do you think that had anything to do with?
There's no doubt. Pressure is definitely a big part of it. But you're either that guy or you're not that guy. Part of being in professional sports and being one of the best in the world and getting to that is being able to deal with pressure. And that's the place, when you get in that octagon, that's where the least fucking pressure is. The real pressure when you make it is outside the fucking octagon. If you can't handle that, good luck with the rest of it.
You got any idea what happened? I mean, Jake's had...
That's what I'm saying.
He's had big
the
fights.
pressure. He's been in big fights. His last
before.
fight was a big fight.
Yeah.
That was a big fight for him. That was really important against Marquardt.
Yeah, I mean, and Shields and
yeah.
What's the other one? Campman and I mean,
that's it. He's had big. You're right. Exactly. He's had big fights.
Even in losing, he didn't freeze. He didn't do anything.
That's what I said. I literally fucking Lorenzo texted me and said this is terrible, and I texted him back and I said Ellenberger's freezing. He froze tonight. That's what he did. I don't know why. but he did. And when he froze, Rory did nothing to, you know.
Did you say anything to Rory after the fight? Did you talk to Rory after the fight?
No, he just walked by me like, I'm sure I'm the last fucking guy he wants to talk to right now. And likewise, I don't feel like standing around and having a big fucking conversation with him right now either. So,
But what do you say that his strategy was working? Why should he need to
did.
change it?
no. People want to see, because we live in a fucking world where people want to see guys who actually put on exciting fights. When you got a guy like Ellenberger who said, and he didn't even have to say he wasn't himself tonight. We all know he wasn't. Dave said the same thing I said during the fight. He froze. He froze right there, and Rory could have took it to him, like he put it to BJ, but he didn't.
Will that performance tonight change, do you think, the kind of opponent you put Rory up against next time?
No, Rory's one of the best in the world. He didn't look it tonight, but the fact of the matter, he is. He's one of the best in the world, and you know, he'll fight. This will be a learning experience for him, hopefully, you know, because you don't want to put on a bunch of performances like that. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for him. It's not good for us. It's not good for the sport. Not good for Fox. Definitely not good for pay-per-view.
Do you think that Rory's getting bad advice?
I mean, I've heard all the, you know, Greg Jackson builds boring fighters. Faraz is just as much to blame for this as not. At the end of the day, you know, these guys that work these corners, it's a business. And they get paid. If this guy wins and continues to win, they continue to get paid. But, you know, you see, I mean, one thing that my Twitter was insane tonight with people blowing up and just going crazy over it. Just people don't tolerate that kind of shit anymore. If people are going to stay home on Saturday, and especially if they're going to spend money, you better fight. You know? It's crazy because don't forget, all the same fucking guys that are on the internet going, they're not being paid enough and you guys are the worst, are the same fucking guys that are ripping them apart when they put on a fight like tonight. Okay? It's the same fucking people. You know?
How would you rate that co-main event in terms of entertainment value?
I'd put it right up there with Dan Henderson and Lyoto Machida. Another fight in the co-main event slot that overshadowed the main event and stunk the place out.